Maintain simplicity when possible. This is another biggie. A lot of times, we're guilty. If you're a music student, you're really guilty. You're like, all right, I've been in theory class. I just learned this slick technique, or I've been studying the orchestration and arranging. I saw this thing that this arranger I really admired did, Maria Schneider, whoever, and I'm going to do that. It's like, okay, that's cool. But the way I try to think about it is like, I put this analogy here to like a professional athlete. Like a professional athlete, you train so you can do crazy stuff all the time. Like if you're a tennis player, I've been talking about tennis with the Terror Birds, because I'm going to play tennis. If any of y'all play tennis, I'm down when I come to Hong Kong. Any of y'all play tennis, let me know. But I watch a lot of tennis. I play tennis. If we're talking about like tennis players, these guys that are at the top of the game, they can do ridiculous shots. Like they can hit anything from all over. But when they're in like a rally, like a back and forth, they're not hitting their craziest stuff. A lot of times they're hitting like the safer choice. And I think this is a good analogy for when we're doing arranging or like any sort of composition. It's like a lot of times the simple solution is the best and the thing that allows the concept of the music to be most clear and to speak the most clearly to people and resonate the best. So it's oftentimes we're thinking, oh, maybe we can have this like cool like oblique motion in our inner voices and like do this cool thing, but it's just for the sake of like being clever or being cool or what we think is like just like cool from like an academic musical standpoint. A lot of times it's just like, yo, keep it simple. This happens all the time. There's a student that I work with a lot, and he's a great composer and arranger. And a lot of times, though, it's a lot of the work actually is like kind of dumbing down stuff. And again, this is a lot of it is a matter of taste. You know, I'm a man of simple taste, but I would say that usually it's easier to just kind of keep things simple. And because if we're already talking about having a horn section in a band, we're already talking about more than likely we have a lot of moving parts happening. There's a lot of things happening. We have a piano player or a guitar player playing all the chords, probably. Maybe we have a singer, we have a bass player, we have drums. We have a lot of people putting information into a song, into a performance of a song or a recording of a song. So usually we don't need more complex things. And I would say also, especially the most obvious examples would be if there's a vocalist present, where there's like a clear focal point on stage or in a recording. We don't want anything to obscure the primary focus of the song, all right? So if there's like a really soaring melodic passage, do we want a huge drum fill? Probably not. Do we want some crazy melodic run, some crazy horn flourish? Probably not, because all these things are going to detract from the attention of the melody, which generally speaking is the most important part of the song. So it's important. This is kind of like, again, an experience maturity thing. The more you do it, the better you get, and you sort of refine your taste. But it's allowing things to have their space, to have breathing room for everything, and not having things occupy the same space, because if they do, it's like they cancel each other out. You know what I'm saying? So that's my 2 cents on that. Keep it simple, especially if you're not a horn player. Don't try to do something that's going back to the tennis thing. There's this great book called Winning Ugly, and the guy's talking about, it's a book for tennis players at the recreational level, not professional people like me who aren't very good. But he's talking about, he's like, it's always like the weak players, the recreational players, that try to do the crazy shot, when it's like, no, you got it all backwards. You go for the crazy shot when you have the most advantage, but they're always trying to go for the crazy shot when they have the least amount of chance to make the shot. So it's like, emulate the professionals, make things simple, you know? If you go check out, and again, you can always go check out recordings, and you can see this in action. It's like, I mean, with a few exceptions, if you're talking about like Jerry Hayes arrangements, horn arrangements on Off the Wall, Michael Jackson, or Thriller, or some Earth, Wind & Fire stuff, there's some complicated stuff, but generally speaking, simple gets the job done with horns.